We're loving the pink. Okay, so let's begin. Generally, what is surveillance tracking?
All right, thank you very much and good morning to our viewers. So when we talk about surveillance tracking, as you said, the systematic monitoring of activities around a person or using a technological gadget. So today we are limiting it onto the technological space. So where we use technological devices, gadgets to monitor everything about a person or an individual. It could be a group. So we are looking at it from the video conferencing monitoring. We are talking about the GPS, the global position system monitoring. We are talking about social media monitoring. We are talking about a lot. So we have them, how they monitor everything that we do. And I would love to pick it from the top because there are some certain things, and I think that today we have to do, we always do our people more good than harm. And please, this is very important, and I want us to pay attention to today's show. We've had a series of programs here, very educative, but today on our scale is one of the topmost to me, priority. Right. This whole year is a year of privacy, right? We're talking about surveillance tracking. Now, in the instances whereby we are looking to get products, let's say buying vehicles and other things, I'm talking about what we've seen, what has come to us within the space. Now, there are instances whereby you are trying to purchase a vehicle from maybe a seller or a vendor or whoever, and then after purchasing the vehicle, there are instances whereby other things happen, fraud activities and other things. What we've seen that through the surveillance tracking, what happened is that after purchasing the vehicle, then they put those surveillance trackers inside, most especially the GPS one. And because some of the GPS one, the trackers, I brought some here, this one like this has its own battery, right? So something like this doesn't need to be plugged onto the, the battery side of the vehicle or the engine side. So a device like this can be just dropped into the car anywhere, right? And what happened is that after purchasing the vehicle, some days back, probably when you've left the car somewhere going to buy something, because they are tracking the vehicle, they are able to just pick it up, right? And then they have a spare key of that, so they're able to just move the car. And these things have been happening because of tracking.
This fits in my palm.
Yes, yes. So they just, and this one doesn't need anything. It can stay for 3 months without charging it. So if they place certain things in your vehicle after purchasing it, they have a spare key. You've purchased from them, they have a spare key. So when you leave it somewhere, I'm talking about these things happened even last week, right, in Tema, right, where someone purchased a car and for this time gave the car to the wife was going to the saloon, left the car in front of a shop, then all that they could see the car has been moved out. Why? Because they had a surveillance tracker in the car and also they had a spare key, right? So what we are telling people is that, no, when you buy a car, reprogram the key so that the old key doesn't work. It's very, very important. Very, very important. And if you are checking for surveillance tracking, not only going to the orthodox way, checking from the battery side, and now we have these ones that comes with battery, can be in the car for 3 months without even charging, nothing, and they will still keep tracking of it.
Okay, so, wait, I saw play here. Does this only track or it can record conversations?
It records conversations, so after that it can send to the cloud. So whilst recording conversation, anytime it gets internet, it records to the clouds. It does everything, video conferencing and all those things. And it has memory that they can put inside. They can normally do it to the cloud because they won't have physical access. They will just drop it into the vehicle. So this is about the GPS tracking. And today, the tracking is very common. It's becoming more serious day in day out. So we need to pay attention to these things, right? So aside that, we have other tracking, like the cameras that we have, IoT devices around, Internet of Things, whereby today in our various homes, we are able to have access to cameras. We install cameras for protection. Some people are able to get access into the camera, and what you are seeing, they are seeing, right? So today, we have something we call electronic sweeping.
Hold on, let me get that bit. The cameras that I have installed in my home, somebody else can have access to it. And it's common in Ghana?
Yes, very common.
How common is this?
Yeah, so, these cameras that we have today, they are more like IoT cameras, right? So I could clearly watch whatever happens in our office on my phone. Now, if I'm having access of that, someone who is a hacker or a scammer can find a way to get access into it. And these things are they can find a way to hack into your Wi-Fi, they be on the same network with you, then they have every device that are connected on the network. So if they are 10 devices connected on a network, they're able to have access of them. They view what you see at your side. Right, whoa. So those are how dangerous it is. So, well, that is that. And just a quick one, when you come to platform like this, I'm just giving you a platform whereby you can learn about these IoT tracking things, right, or the surveillance tracking. So the leading nonprofits defending digital privacy, free speech and innovation. So this platform will give you a lot of ways to protect. They have them in basic ways to protect yourself, right, with regard to these privacy.
Okay. David, are there devices that we can also, individuals can purchase where, for instance, if there's a tracker in your car and you sort of swipe it, you can tell there's a tracker in your car?
Good question.
And are these common?
Yeah, good question. Very common. The serious ones are not that common, but they have more fake ones in a system that does not really do the work. Yes, we call them sweepers. So actually we have what we call electronic sweeping, and we provide such service. So what we do with electronic sweeping is that we sweep around you every electronic device that is taking video, audio, magnetic conferencing, everything, right? It would be able to detect it. Right, because of some things we can't show them live here, right? So we have them, we call them, some are called bad detectors. So they detect bad. So anything that is taking something outside your area to a different place, we are able to check that. So we advise people in authority, or even if you think about privacy, this year, people now, information is becoming a big deal here. Yes, people are buying information. And yes, because of the election year, whatever you say is very paramount to somebody, right? So they are buying information. And how did they get such information? It's through these surveillance trackers, right? And now we've even known that some of the lights that we buy from the market are surveillance trackers. So you buy a light bulb to fix, and that is tracking you. You might not know.
I've seen a light bulb that is also a camera.
Yeah.
Are these the ones that can be tracked, or just the normal LED lights?
Yes, so yes, I've gone to the market to buy a light bulb. I don't know if it has a speaking camera and all those things. Then it does. So that means that whatever you are doing there, it's taking the feed to somebody outside.
Okay, so for the ordinary person who might not have an idea about surveillance tracking or anything surveillance, how does this person know the person is watching us? That what do you look out for in the lights if you go onto the market to just go and buy? My lights are out, I need lights, somebody's tracking me, how?
All right, good question. So what happened here is that anytime you purchase a device, we read around the device. Know all the functionalities the device is about to do for you. That's the first step, right? So yes, we have to. And also you have to physically assess the device. So someone is fixing a light bulb for you, right? You check the light bulb and you see that if it has nothing like a dot or a camera or something around, you can really check that, right? So, or if it's an office or it's a high place, you can go for these sweepers. Because now we know that these devices are sophisticated. Right, and some of them you can't even check. We have surveillance trackers that are pens, glasses. Some are even like a button that you may not see. The person is really recording you. So we have to do this electronic sweeping. It will pick it up and bring to you that there is something that is really not happening right at your side, right?
Okay, so that's the fiscal part. Now let's go online and how we can protect ourselves and check these trackers.
Yeah, so the online one, even with the physical one, what I'll add to that one is mostly when we use guest house hotels, right? Now we may not know who is tracking us, right? We may never know who is tracking us. An incident happened somewhere in Accra here whereby someone went to, even that one was happening at the bank, and they tracked this person for close to 4 hours. And they gave the person almost about 2 to 3 cars difference. They were not closely after the person. So the minute the person dropped and was doing some transaction, they went to pick the bag, pick some certain items and these things, all because of this tracking. So we need to be very careful. In our hotel rooms, when you get to a hotel room, off every light.
Turn off every light.
Yeah. So you turn off the light and you put every electronic devices off, like the fridge, the AC, and just get a quiet room. And then sit down to look for if there's a light beep or there's a sound. You could hear that if something is really happening. Then normally you could hear if there's a light comes up every maybe 1 minute or 30 seconds. Then you could know that there is some surveillance tracking there.
Okay. Now, for rooms and enclosed places, which spaces would you advise to look for?
Yeah, so for me, I'll look the corners, right? You check
Okay.
the corners and you check where the light source are.
Okay.
Where there's electronic or where there's those electronic styles. You check around. If there's a fridge, you check around the fridge. You check around the TV. You see if sometimes you go to some of the rooms, there's a monitor there. You see that there's a camera. Even your monitor, your laptop you are using, you could see that there's a camera there. You get something that can put it on the camera face so that it wouldn't. You may never know because they hack into all these devices. Now on the space, what happened is that our calls are being forwarded, our calls are being monitored for some reasons, right? We may not know, right? So those ones, I didn't project the code, but just to add the code to it when I'm talking about the calls, right? To check if your calls has been forwarded, diverted, because we are looking at surveillance and tracking, we could look at it from a code like *#62#, right? *#62#. So yes, that's simple, right? So *#62# brings to you that, if there is a call forwarding to a number or something, and to block it is #62#, right? So #62#.
Okay.
Yeah. So this also site is ssd.eff.org2 would also give you some guidelines. So because all these things doesn't come in, you need to read about them. You need to research about them. So we have basics way, the tools and the security scenarios that we could ever have, right? Now, when it comes to the space too, we have platforms like privacystools.io, whereby it takes you through all the aspects that we're looking in, the social media and everything, how you can best protect yourself, because it's quite a long list. So you can just go there this morning or anytime you are free. Then you check through to see what you are not doing right. Then there's an article for you there to know what you can actually do right over there.
So, Dave, hold on a second. What's the green light, or how do you know you're being tracked on social media? You've given us how to check for our phones, for call forwarding. How do we check on social media? How do you know if you're being tracked?
All right, good question. So on the social platforms today, it's a bit sophisticated and advanced, but there are some measures that we can really put in place, right? So basically, some of us, like a platform like Facebook, people are monitoring us, but we can't see. So normally go to your Facebook, you go to your settings, you check for where you have logged in, right? And you see all the devices that are logged onto your Facebook platform, and then you could see that there's something like that happen, right? And also the information you put there are very paramount. So we should check the information that we've placed on our social platforms, so that we shouldn't give more detailed information on the social platform, more private information onto the social platform, because today we have things like crawlers. Right, so I could sweep on your social platform and get a lot of things from you, right? Get a lot of things from you, and the things I'm getting from you may not be public, right?
Okay.
Possibly you gave it to the platform, but I'm able to sweep to get them, right? So if I don't give it to the platform, if I sweep, what do I get? I get nothing, right? So the advice here is that be very careful, mindful about the information you trust to these social platforms here. I always say that if you are on a social platform, find a different email or Gmail, Yahoo Mail for your social media styles, because your email may not be public out there, but when we are doing the sweeping with the crawlers, we get all those things, right? We get all those things. So you could be able to see if you have your main email. Attacks could come through that, through phishing attacks. If you are not careful, your email will be taken from you. And this email too is the same email signed in with your IoT cameras, IoT devices. So then, I mean, the email, everything happened, I have access. Right. So those are some of the things that we could check.
Okay, Dave, how about turning our location services on and off? We do know that for privacy's sake, it's better to turn it off.
Yeah.
But then if your phone gets missing and it's off, you can't find it. So if your location services is off, does it give these hackers access to you or no? Correct that misconception, please.
All right, thank you very much. Good question. And I think this is it is a tough question, but has a simple answer, right? You know, when it comes to security, is an option for us, right? But
security is an option.
Yes, because well, people don't look for security, but it's important for us to look for security. Now, when your location is on, yes, someone can track you with your location, right? So it depends on every app. Now, when it comes to the apps, we have a lot of apps, and the permissions we give them, So it's
Okay.
not as if the location is on for every app. The location could be on for Find My iPhone. The location could be on for Find My Device. But the location is off for that app that I have downloaded. I don't know what it's doing for me.
Right.
The location is off on both, because when I need both, I turn on the location to do my stuff. When I'm done, I put it off.
Okay.
So I don't enable location on all the apps.
So that's what we need to do.
That's what we need to
shouldn't enable location on all our apps.
Yes,
Guys.
check. And
okay.
also even your Bluetooth. Put them off if they are not in use. One day we'll talk about Bluetooth hacking. You see how deadly it is, right? So we can get into your device through your Bluetooth being on. So if you're not using it, turn it on off, right? So all those are part of the surveillance that we're talking about, yes, because they intend to get location, get details of where we are, registered all those things from us.
Okay. Now tell us what to do. More sites.
There's a lot to. Okay, so if we look at these, let's go here. Let's go to. So here, in case you feel that there's a lot going on, you can actually clear your, you cover your tracks, right? So you feel that you've given a lot to the internet. You can go to platforms like deleteme.com. You can come to this platform, cover your tracks.eff.org, right? That's a platform that we can really use this morning to check to see if all these things are there. And my favorite site to you this morning, once again, is a privacytools.io, right? Whereby we can get all these things that we are talking about this morning, right?
Okay. Can you run us through, I mean, this is the most common one, call forwarding. My director is just telling me in his ear that he tried, to check to know if your calls are being forwarded is *62#.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how do you stop it?
So, well, yeah, it's a simple thing. I play with mobile phones, right? So, case I'm coming here and I feel that this phone, I don't want disturbance. So, I can forward the calls from this device to a different one. But however, the hackers know you don't know. And they can do that on your behalf, right? You're talking about privacy. So, what we have to check, or the code to check, is *62#. Now, when you check, you see that either call forwarding is enabled or disabled. Now, if it's enabled, that means that you know your forwarding is enabled. Sometimes you may even find a number there that is forwarding your calls, right? And normally we are talking about it from a security aspect, so we are talking about defending. The person has been doing it, right? So just block the person, right? That is my point of view. So we can use the code #62#. And that's my favorite code that I use every week. You see me just putting it onto my phone. It doesn't take my credit. It doesn't do anything. So #62# will clear every forwarding thing on it, right? The codes are a lot. I don't want to confuse you this morning, right? We have *62#, *002#, *21#. All those are for checking. And to block them are just adding hash to the tracking. So beginning #62#, and then you find your way around it. Now let's look at your mobile phones, right? These devices. There are instances we see that we have the camera access on it. It's very imperative on us to go to your phone settings, to go to the apps, and check every app what access you have given to that app. Why? Because some of these apps are accessing your cameras you don't know. So remotely, someone will be behind and you'll be having access. And if you think we are lying, let me give you a clear example. Kaf and I, we did a program last year about instant loan app scams, whereby you just download an app for a flexible loan. And then after the loan, these people are able to get your contact. They're able to get your pictures and now share to your contact list that, hey, you are a scammer. Hey, you came for that and you're not doing that. How were they able to do it? If that app you downloaded were not giving access to your contact. You get a point. So we are saying that some apps on your phones are doing things that you have no idea of. You can check this morning to just go to the app and check their privacy, the permissions you've given them. I say you give them because when you're installing, all that you did was enable. Right?
You never read through. I never read through any of those.
So that is some of it, right? And also when you're talking about, let me also, because it's a tech, let's add the computer aspect of it. Please, it's a good practice that every laptop has a webcam.
Yeah.
A camera on there. It's a good practice to cover it up with, it can be a sellotape, anything, cover it up. Because when they hack into your devices, they're able to use that to get a camera, a video about everything that's going happen around, right? So we need to check that, please. It's very important, right?
Okay. Before we leave the tech corner, can you share some success stories where this is not the evil people tracking, but this is where tracking has helped someone, has saved a situation, has saved someone's life? Can you share some success stories?
There are a lot of success stories with kidnapping issues. I always giving agent attention, whereby myself, I have received lots of calls from my good service people, whereby they trust their small boy that there's an instance of let's say kidnapping, and the person is able to send a WhatsApp message. So then when we just send an image or something to the person and the person click on it, we're able to now assess the person's location and be able to give us an idea of where the person is, give us approximately a closer location. Then the expert goes on the field to really intercede on the person's behalf. So yes, there have been so much success stories around that side, and there has been so much also evil stories around that side. As I said to you that almost last week, 2 cars were taken because of this surveillance tracking. They bought the car and they didn't know that they had surveillance tracker in it. They left the car somewhere and the person just went to take the car because they had a spare key. That's why I started the program with that. Very, very important. But yes, there are success stories, but sometimes, Ghana here, when it comes to our technological staffs, we are now building up. Yes, all the institutions are doing very well. National Cybersecurity is doing very well.
Yes,
all of them, they are doing very well. But I think that we all have to join up and be able to do more to really save these situations. And 2024, we are going to have more of these. Because you see, when you are going to election, people want to know what people are saying. So the tracking is going to be on. And there are lots of sophisticated ones. Some are like just a button and all those things. So you ought to be safe.
Okay. We have to leave the tech corner. But how does facial recognition come in play here? If I use my eyes and my stuff, will anybody get my information? Can they hack me?
Yeah, why not? So we have some of these. One of these, we will do those QR code scanners that are clone or fake. So you think that you are accessing the right platform, but whatever you're accessing is being sent to the scammer somewhere.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that is the word we learn now.
Okay.
But there's hope because you're watching Tech Corner on GBC.
Okay. Tell us before we leave, tell us one more thing we should take home. One more safety tip, I beg your pardon.
Yeah. So please, one of the best advice I give to people is that please, let's prioritize our security. Let's practice cyber hygiene. And that compasses a lot of things, right? So this is DK Cyber from Cyber One Defense.
We love you. So this is what I'm taking home. And so if you feel that your calls are being forwarded, this is what you *#62